I did drink a bottle of wine last night while watching that game, but that's fine, right?
You're embarrassing. You're embarrassing.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Welcome to Putback on SNY.TV. I'm Ian Begley here with Chris Williamson. Chris, what do we have for the baseline this week?
Well, Ian, you know it's less than 2 months, a little less than 2 months from the NBA trade deadline. So what's the latest on that front for some moving pieces?
Yeah, Lonzo Ball is one name that's going to be out there. The Athletic reported that teams have been talking to the Pelicans. I'm told that New Orleans is probably going to ask for a significant return on any Lonzo trade. And then with regard to the Knicks, I do know that some people at MSG supported the idea of trading for Lonzo entering the 2020 offseason. Obviously, the Knicks didn't make an offer to acquire Lonzo then. As far as now, I'd be a little bit surprised if the Knicks made an aggressive move for Lonzo Ball because of the current roster construction and the early emergence of Emmanuel Quickley. And then, Chris, you have Derrick Rose. The Athletic reported the Knicks were among the teams to show interest in trading for Derrick Rose. Obviously, Tom Thibodeau's the connection there. He coached Rose in Chicago and Minnesota. Worth pointing out here that in Detroit last year, both the Pistons and Rose were pretty much opposed to any trade before last year's deadline that would have sent Rose out of Detroit. Rose is a free agent this summer, so if the Knicks gave up assets to acquire Rose, you would think that they would have plans to re-sign him.
Welcome back to Ball Street, where the Knicks trend is your friend. This week we've got point guards, three-pointers, and whatever Mitch Robinson does in his hotel before games.
Yeah, Chris, the Knicks are last in the league in three-point attempts per 100 possessions. They've seen a lot of zone this year. Do you think those attempts are a trend that continues, or will they start to shoot more?
I'm definitely bearish on that trend, Ian. When you look at the top four shooters for this Knicks team, Alec Burks, Austin Rivers, Emmanuel Quickley, and Kevin Knox, these are streaky shooters. And the fact that you have teams like the Blazers opening up into a zone just shows you how much of disrespect they have about the three-point shot for the Knicks. So I'm very bearish on this. I do think that it will continue and we will not see the Knicks impress. Now, on the point guard issue, Ian, Frank Ntilikina is back, but IQ obviously has been balling, and it doesn't look like Thibs wants Payton to go anywhere as of now. Are you bullish or bearish on Frank's minutes going forward?
Bearish, Chris, and I think that there's just not a spot for him right now. I mean, unless Tom Thibodeau wants to play him at the three, but even there it's crowded in this Knick rotation. And, they have a ton of guys in this backcourt, and there's an established rotation at the moment, and Tom Thibodeau hasn't given any indication that he wants to break that rotation up. So I think Ntilikina for right now is the odd man out of the rotation. Maybe injuries change that, but that's how I see it at the moment. Chris, from Ntilikina to Mitchell Robinson, we'll close here. It seems like Mitchell Robinson has been filling his time in the hotel on a different social media app.
I was running through the six with my woes. Yeah. I was running through the six with my woes. You know how it go.
So, Chris, are you bullish or bearish on Mitch's TikTok career?
I'm bearish. I don't think it gets off the ground, as you see in that video. Ian, this is a guy who clearly knows more about how to jam the ball in the hoop, but when it comes to his TikTok editing skills, they are not great at all. So I think he should just focus on the basketball part, but it is fun to see him try to dabble in something else. This week's guests are the team behind Julius Randle's improvement this season, elite NBA basketball trainer Tyler Relph and Melvin Sanders, founder and director of Sanders Fit Performance Center in Dallas, Texas.
Well, first of all, let me say this. Mike Vorkanoff from The Athletic, fantastic article with both of you guys. Yeah. I thought he did a great job. It was great to see your insights. And so I don't want to be a fraud. I was going to call you guys, even if I didn't see that article, but I want to give Mike credit because that article is great. Go check it out, go subscribe, all that. What was his mindset when the season got shut down and he had this period of time to just kind of improve?
Yeah, I think it was just a mentality thing with Julius. I think it always starts with the player, and he was absolutely special from the time that he came back after the season got canceled until he left. Man, it was a really just special summer. I mean, I don't even want to say summer. 8 months.
It was like, it was a while. Typically guys don't have that long, and like Julius legit bought in the whole 6 to 8 months. I mean, he never missed a day. I mean, never was late. I mean, honestly, never complained. I mean, like you said, I thought those guys like the 1%ers, like Julius is one of those guys, man. He bought in to look at everything we said. I mean, for us, like getting it by the shelf. getting his own physical therapist. I mean, everything literally was unreal, man, for the whole 8 months.
I mean, we can be there as much as we want, but if the player doesn't want to work,
Facts.
we can't do anything about it.
How much of the criticism that he faced last year, because there was a lot from Knicks fans, how much did that bother him, and how much is that fueling him, I guess, to what his season is looking like right now, Tyler?
I want to say it was a blessing in disguise, and I really do. I think he came immediately back with a chip on his shoulder. I think he thought he didn't play as well as he could have, and that's what drove him all summer was winning and getting the Knicks back to the playoffs. I don't think there's a player doesn't bother, but I think he's funneled it to a good place. Like he wants to play basketball, and he wants to make the Knicks better. And I think mindset-wise, he changed completely this summer. There's nothing that phases him right now. He's just putting his head down and he's going to work every single day. And New Yorkers love blue collar, and New Yorkers love guys that work hard. He's kind of taken that New York mentality, the Anthony Masons, the Charles Oakleys, the Patrick Ewings. And it was funny, it was 2, maybe 3 games ago, and I can't remember what he had, but he had a great game, and he was like, bro, I feel like I'm not even close to where I could be. Like, he's not satisfied where he is right now.
Let's go to a place that's filled with thousands of NBA GMs, coaches, and scouts. I'm talking about Twitter, Chris. So it's time for In the Paint.
That's right, Ian. And you asked Twitter Monday night, has a Knick ever completed such a year-to-year turnaround as Julius Randle has? And you got a couple of interesting responses. RJ Barrett and Kevin Knox.
Let's wait on those two. I mean, time will tell. Knox, he's hit some corner threes so far, but we need to see more from both of those guys.
Allen Houston.
Yeah, great answer. I mean, he turned it on with the Knicks. He was a great shooter in Detroit and in New York, but he made all-star teams in New York, so that's valid.
J.R. Smith.
Love that one. I mean, he's my personal favorite guy to cover. I have a soft spot for JR, but certainly his 6th man of the year that he had when the Knicks were really good. Great turn for JR.
And nobody.
I like that one because it might be Julius. Julius has been fantastic so far early on this season. Let's see if he can keep it up. Julius last year sometimes would spin into, a double team or multiple defenders, and he would lose the ball or take a contested shot. I haven't seen that this year, maybe once or twice. Again, it's my untrained eye, but I just want to know, was that a part of the conversation in the offseason for you guys? Just how to approach the extra defender?
Trust me, I read a lot of stuff. I think one of the things was it's all about spots. It's all about getting to your spots. And last year, it was just random. Like nobody knew where you were supposed to be. There was, he was driving from all types of different spots. So it's always going to be tough to try to figure out where that second help is coming from. This year, he sees it every time. If he's on the mid post on the left, mid post on the right, he knows, that it's coming, and he can now be patient and, let it go, or he's facing his guy up. And then we worked a lot, Ian, actually on making contested shots, but it was being patient and knowing that you don't have to take contested shots all the time. There's going to be a time and an opportunity for us to shoot those. And, he's showing more trust in his teammates, and he's starting to just figure it out. I mean, he's 26 now. He's been in the league. He's been playing for 6 years. The other part was just studying film, and Tibbs has just done a great job for Julius, knowing where guys are, and he's starting to be unselfish, and then defensively, it's all Melvin, man.
And the thing about Tibbs is when you talk about confidence, he's obviously got Randle out there, playing the most minutes out of anybody in the league. So, Melvin, I'm curious to know from your perspective, how do you think he's handling the minutes so far? And do you think he can keep that up, or he's just going to get better when it comes to conditioning in late time situations?
I mean, like I said, it's tough emulate game situations. Like I said, me and Tyler, did focus on conditioning because we knew they'd go probably right back into playing again. And the fact that he's playing, close to 40 minutes a night, I mean, that's a testament to him. I mean, working his butt off, like I said, during the time he's here with us. So you can see, at times, I'm saying, in late game situations where other guys are tired, dudes are still kind of going strong. He's in great shape. So as you can see, he's running a lot better. I mean, he's playing defense a lot better. I was a defensive guy myself. I mean, so I told Julius, man, you've got to learn to play on both ends of the court. And so if you can do that, you can be a really, really, really good player.
For Tyler, Melvin, and Chris, I'm Ian. We'll see you next week on the Putback.